0 minutes, 0 seconds, 0 hours paused.
Okay, well, I was not able to connect to the TV, so I'm gonna get to watch this on my phone, and I get to hold it up the whole time. I will say, dude, I once again cashing in on my Peacock, even though I already own the movie. I watched Exorcist 3 for the first time. Criminally underrated.
Right? Okay,
Criminally.
Exorcist 2, really, really hard watch, really kind of boring. Exorcist 3 is like,
So
bro.
good. It's a long start. It takes about 45 minutes to really ramp up, but the character development's so good and the dialogue, man, they talk about stuff that I should not care about, but the connection between the characters is so good and so well written. And there's so much background noise, but it adds to the like reality of it. It's so good. And it's even though it's made in 1990, it feels like a late 70s movie. It
It
feels
does.
so good.
And I don't care
Oh,
who says what. That scurrying across the ceiling or whatever when that long shot in the asylum. Nope. Nope.
right.
Nope.
Uh,
Nope.
Jabari said that the Best Buy 4K box version of First Saw he really wants
Nothing
it. Dude, I
saw.
saw that. That would be sweet. I really try to stay away from steel boxes because it gets out of hand real quick, and then they get dented, and you get really upset, and it's just no good. For me anyway. It's just no
I,
good. Like look
I
at that.
actually
Like look at that. Serial Mom. Right? Yeah, and then you got Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. So good. Prom Night.
man,
I've been wanting to rewatch that. I haven't seen
in
Prom Night.
2002 or 3, there was a bunch of really bad horror movies made. But a series of them were called Scarecrow. And I just found a dude selling all of them. I think there's three of them. He only wants like $9 for them, and they are the worst, like CD rated rip off of Friday the 13th. But I remember walking to Blockbuster and renting them when I found as soon as I found them. And dude, I'm really movie buying is out of hand for me because I'm like, I'll never watch this again, but I'm gonna buy it.
Right. No, dude, I'm right with you. I'm right here with you. Well, okay, now my Peacock app is being difficult. Really, bro? We're gonna do this right now? I'm not offline. I'm connected to my internet. What's going on?
We are
Uninstall.
facing technical difficulties.
Why does everything have to be difficult? This is why I choose physical media every time. All right, well, I'm gonna restart it and hopefully that'll fix it. But no, Flashback was great. I do want to talk about that because like I'm probably gonna. It's so good. I'll probably be quiet through most of it until Loomis hits
I
the
have
scene.
some things to say about that flashback now.
Well, even the like if you're gonna extend the time that Michael Myers got shot, he got shot 6 times, got stabbed multiple times, and then he's just walking around. Like I know they show the footprint with him bleeding, but
It
if I mean that's a good like at least probably 2 hours of like no medical attention, and then he's still strangling dudes and just walking around, no care in the world.
so a big, 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 big. All right, I just got some honestly awesome news. Ah,
What?
my Rob Zombie H2 mask has made it to New York
Nice.
from the UK. All right, all right. Sorry. Um, with the flashback scenes, the grain of the film takes you back to '78. The color choices that they used really take you back to '78. I'm not complaining there. There's continuity issues with Michael's jumpsuit. He doesn't have 6 bullet holes.
Were they trying to retcon that to like also say that he's not
I don't
supernatural, that he
know if
didn't
that
get
was
shot
on
6 times?
purpose. Yeah, I don't know if that was on purpose or if that was an accident. I'm hoping accident, but at the same time, that Halloween 4, blonde hair, how did you do that? Um,
Dude,
but
all the details they did on the house and everything else, I can't imagine they didn't.
the more that I have watched, the less that I like Loomis.
Oh, dude, you got to give it a break, man. Like that's the best you're
Like,
ever gonna get for recreating a character that's dead.
I can't because it was done poorly.
Eh.
It was done so poorly. Okay, so like the look was great. He looked really good. His voice wasn't quite there. His dialogue was horrible. Horrible. His dialogue has never been that bad in any of the other movies.
He was always kind of Shakespearean. Like he was always delivering like he was trying to sell, the world's next
Man,
best frozen pizza.
a lot of people hate this kill. I loved it because my first thought was how many people who don't actually know how to use a gun at all are going to pick up a gun and then wind up shooting themselves. But this one happened and it was kind of funny because even Michael looked like, oh,
But it
oh,
it does kind of feel kind of like it also adds to the like ninja of Michael Myers. It also adds to the like whoa, deflect and like it adds to the why. And then
it
that
does.
scene is so stupid because she runs away when she could have just taken 2 steps back and shot him on top of the car. It's a
So
poorly edited, laid out
I see,
scene.
I see all of that. But I just defend it because it's like finally somebody had that happen. I think it would have fit better in a Friday the 13th film if
Right.
Jason had knocked somebody and then they shot themselves on accident. It'd be way
Right.
more fun.
Well, this is the hard time too. This is a hard point too because Friday the 13th was, I mean, first one not so much, but it became campier more and more as the
If
movies went on, and it was
if
always
Jason
B-list
Takes
compared to Halloween.
Manhattan had a scene like that, nobody would bat an eye. It would
Right.
be absolutely fine.
All right. All right. All right. I'm ready.
All right,
Okay.
do you have
Well,
a
let me
pause?
get mine ready to play. Let me see if we can't link up here before we get started.
00000.
Okay. I just got Peacock on the stream on the screen, yellow and orange dot.
What's your timestamp?
It's like point. It's like 03. It's like
Okay, I'm at three
okay.
seconds.
Okay, so that's where we're at, guys. Just saying Peacock on the screen. Hopefully, our the format's the same across the board. As always, I want to thank our sponsors, which is no one. So thank you to them.
Yeah.
And for the 2 in attendance, for Jabari, and for the dozens that are going to watch this in the future, here comes Halloween Kills commentary in
And the
three.
two people who keep commenting on YouTube.
Yeah, we appreciate you. So in 3, 2, 1, engage. I'm excited to watch this again because, like, I think some of our negatives are just going to be like concrete, and some of
Oh
them
yeah.
are going to be like, okay, it's. I wish you would have had a chance to watch this again because, like I was saying to Jabari, and like I've told you, like the theater really adjusted it, and some of it's not as bad as I thought. It's just it's the middle part that's just kind of a random throwaway filler. And it's the ending is just it's so quick cut and ended. Um, and basically at the end of the day, the plot of this movie is Michael goes home. Michael goes home, and it's talks about crowd mentality. That's it.
So the Michael goes home plot could have been executed better. We didn't need as much let's fill this segment as we got. We didn't need near as much comedy. The brutality of Michael, for as many problems as I have with it, I'm also glad that we have it in a way. So I do still, from going into this right now, put it in my last place for the Halloween franchise. At the end of this, I don't know.
Like I
I have to
said though, and
rewind.
I said this in my defense. I'm not sure if it was recorded or not, but I always said that like 18 was always really high for me, and it might drop a skosh. But I said this movie's low, and it will probably go up because there'll be some forgiveness and some like, well, just turn your brain off and watch it.
Yeah.
There's
I will
less
say,
egregious stuff in this movie than in 5, 6, Resurrection. Like there's more forgiveness over time that can be added onto this. So
yeah. I mean, honestly, I just showed you at the beginning of this. I bought the Shout Factory Halloween 5. I paid for the poster package.
yep.
Um, real quick, this character does redeem himself in a way. Although, as I said in Halloween 2018, I wanted him to go violently, and boy, oh boy.
They felt you. They were like, "You're gonna feel this."
They were like, yeah, cheater, we got you. We
Yeah.
got you
To be
good.
honest, that was worth the price of our ticket. Like it was brutal.
Dude,
Like,
the fact that he just kept going and going.
dude, it kind of reminded me of when like it kind of reminded me when you're trying to get like the last Twix bar, but it gets stuck, so you have to like jam the machine really really hard. And like people around you are like, "Really, are you gonna do this?" And you're like, "Yeah, I'm gonna do this."
But also, I feel like Michael, until now in the previous films, unless it was Rob Zombies, that staircase kill wouldn't have been a thing because it was too much like effort. That would have been way more Jason Voorhees, and he'd slam you down and your back would break. Like, whereas this, it was like that over and over and over again. It was almost Leatherface esque, like he didn't fully know what he was doing,
Michael's
but
whole
he did
thing
know
is
his own stuff.
he it's kind of a natural progression if you look at it this way, and it kind of fits to his original intent a little bit. The more he
Oh,
does
I
this,
loved it.
the more
He looked so good.
he looks so good, man. The more he's enjoying his kills, the more he's relishing in the times.
Yeah.
He almost got a
I'll be
headshot
honest,
right
like,
there.
this dude does a very good job at portraying a young Hawkins.
He really does.
Um, I didn't expect that going into it because I feel like with horror movies, you either take the same actor and you make us believe that they're try and make us believe they're 30 years younger or something, or you pay somebody who doesn't look anything like the person and doesn't nail their mannerisms. He does a pretty okay job.
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
actually quite impressed with him.
yeah, he's got that boyish charms. Like he's got that little bit of hair you can see is going to recede a little bit. This kid just nails it. Uh, I don't know, man. It kind of frustrates me because if you wanted Hawkins to come back in the last movie, you shouldn't have ran him over. Like it's bad enough we have to believe that he survived the stab to the neck, but then you ran him over and didn't even address his legs in this newest movie. Like you should have given him a second, like you did Laurie. If you're gonna make him so
Well,
important,
you called it though. They wanted to make him the love story.
right,
You called it.
right.
I was kind of 50-50 on if they would do it. Like, I mean, it was obvious, so I was hoping they wouldn't do it, but
It's
they
just
did
that
it.
little subtlety that they could play on it. And this right here is kind of stupid. If Michael
The-
was that scary and he just disappeared, last thing I'm doing is just having a conversation and putting my gun away.
Also, real quick, this takes me back to whatever happened to Black Widow and Hulk's love story that I wanted to actually see come to fruition, but instead it didn't. It just
Oh no,
makes me
man, I
mad.
love that tragic love story. Two opposite people that have different scarred issues for their love, and that they can never connect because they're just so damaged. It kind of reminds me of Angel and Buffy, where they're both great characters, and they might be able to find love with somebody else, but never each other because their pain is too similar. I
No.
freaking love it, and I love that they still connect, but they got to keep their space like an Endgame. I love that. I do wish they would have explored it a skosh more, but with something
Yes.
that intense, you can't.
With that, I wish it was just a little bit more so we could see the characters actually make these decisions. Because it was just kind of like a hint, and then if you didn't know that hint from before, you would never put those together.
Right, dude. I hate this. This chick looks like a witch. Like not trying to be mean about her chin, but these kids are creepy looking, and they look like they're 30. Like I guarantee you that girl's at least 24. Like why couldn't you find actual like? I mean, maybe they're supposed to be teenagers that are too old for trick or treating, so they're just out
And
being
they're
jerks.
probably
But
like 15.
I don't know. It's just like her. Like they're just so angry looking. Like god dang. Like go find the
I
nastiest
think that was
looking
the
kid.
point. They wanted to find kids who had that like O'Doyle rules look, like that.
Here's something that nobody said about this movie, and I've listened to a lot of commentaries. I've listened to a lot of reviewers. They don't say anything about Too Many Leaves on the Ground for 1978. For trying to be representing the original movie, there's way too many leaves on the ground. That's all I'm gonna say.
There are also the trees.
Right. I don't
Trees
see any
on
palm
palm trees.
trees. Stupid. Terrible. Dude, this right here. Oh, so good.
Did you know I found this out yesterday that the dude who portrays young Michael in the stunt double is the stunt double for Jason in Freddy vs. Jason.
I did not
He's
know
also the
that.
gentleman who did the in scene Jason coming up out of the water.
Nice.
Sorry, I just had to say that.
Oh,
That's really awesome.
that is cool.
Imagine getting the role of stunt double for Jason, and then fast forward like what 15 years, and somebody calls you and they're like, "Hey, you want to be Michael Myers?" And you're just like, "Yeah, yeah, I
Yeah.
do. I really, really do." Like,
Well, I'm assuming
yeah,
he was probably doing some stunts on the side of this movie, and they just fit him in here because the guy who plays Loomis was also on the in the uh, I don't know, he was working with the film. So they just used a lot of their friends too. Like the bartender is an actual he owns his own bar and like he's friends with David Gordon Green, I believe. So they really go and do a good job of like helping their friends out, using the stuff that's right there.
there's
So for
something
having a
about
big budget,
I will give it this. There's a lot of passion behind it. Like things like that make a project even better. And I want to say that for people who might get upset at me ranking it so low. I do not deny what it takes to make a movie. I do not deny the heart that went into it from all angles. I don't deny any of that. What I'm saying is my personal opinion of the movie, it's lower. It's no, I'm not saying anybody did a poor job. I'm just saying that for me, where it ranks on my list reflects how I personally feel. And I respect all the hard work that went into it. Because I've seen a lot of people complaining on the internet that, oh, you just don't know what it takes to make a movie, or you don't like this, or you're not a true Halloween fan, or blah, blah, blah. None of that is accurate. You can have an opinion.
right? I want people to get paid, but a bad movie's a bad movie, whether or not I've ever made a movie or not. Like they're just movies where they're like most of the people don't like them, and there's reasons why. And I mean, if your reasons are stupid, then your reasons are stupid, but you can still have your
Yeah.
own opinion. I hope,
Like
and
if
at
you
the end of the
watch
day, I hope you enjoy every movie out there. There's some people that have
yeah.
such a low quality, they love everything they watch. Good for you, man. That's amazing. But I have
If you
standards.
tried to walk into a room and tell me Terminator 2 was stupid and gave me some reason like Arnold's too big, I would lose my mind on you. But if you
Right.
could come up with, I don't like it because, and they were valid points to you, like say, you don't like sci fi. Okay,
Dude,
cool. I can work with that.
here's another stupid scene where they're chasing Michael and they don't have their guns out. Or I mean,
Yeah.
is this gun out?
And he saw the boot prints and he's just gonna like, story time.
I just no, I don't think his gum is out because I think he's I don't know, maybe his gum's out. It doesn't matter. But it doesn't look like it. Anyway, no, his gun's not out. Michael looked a little too thick there. Don't like that. But why aren't you prepared? Like that's the problem with this movie too. Is everybody in the movie's freaking stupid.
Yeah.
Like I get it. Your partner's getting choked out. You can do nothing to save him, so you took a shot and missed. I understand that. Completely understand. What else are you gonna do? Tackle him through the window? Yeah, I probably should have.
But
But
also, the dude that I was watching, he was like, Michael was standing still. He could have moved and taken a better shot.
well, I'm sure Michael would have just kept with him. I love this scene right here because it mimics 2018, where Michael just walks right past him, and the fear scares him to where he can't get a good enough shot. And I don't know. Not that it mattered because I'm pretty sure that if Michael would have had a headshot, he'd have just shrugged it off. He'd have played dead for 10 seconds and got up.
Yeah.
Oh, here's the Loomis.
See, no offense, his voice just doesn't.
Dude,
It's a good impersonation, but his dialogue is so bad. So bad.
just remember, he was very theatrical.
He
Now
was
he's shot.
theatrical. He was theatrical, but is he here? Is the evil here? Did he kill again? Man, you know he did. Or tried.
I know. I just remember Loomis has seen dead bodies now. He shot him 6 times. Loomis is nuts. Like, I don't know. It just doesn't bother me because I think I have so much respect that Donald Pleasance is dead and that I'm happy that we got something that wasn't a slap in the face. It
Also,
is a bit much, but Hold on.
It's over the top.
It's the again that probably drives everybody nuts. It just
He looks good. His
yeah.
mannerisms are well done. His dialogue is trash.
God, Michael looks so good right there. They got the hair curl right, which drives me crazy that you have that much attention to detail. I can't see
You
any
missed
bullet
the
holes.
bullet holes.
You do?
Did he kill again?
Yeah.
Again!
But
No, there were no bullet holes.
I don't understand why you missed the bullet holes and like why couldn't Halloween 4 get the curl right in the hair? Had the hair not been like perfectly flat, it would have helped the mask out so much. But the
Well, in
fact that the hair
Halloween,
is perfect, it's terrible.
I can forgive Halloween 4 again. He grabs it off a store shelf. You know?
Right, but like mess up the hair, just mess up the hair. Like I'm not
Hey,
asking for
Chris
much.
got sideburns in Halloween 4. Come on now.
Well, I'm just yeah, but I don't know. And somebody said that they have 12 pumpkins, one for each movie, which is pretty cool. But I would have saved that for the next movie, when like that would have been the ending, and then you'd had 13, which is like
13.
unlucky. Like I don't understand why you would waste this now unless you're going to do it again. Which the cat's out of the bag. It's not going to
So,
be interesting, dude. Unless
real
there's
quick,
13 of them with each one like referencing each movie. Like there's a skull in one. There's slasher. I don't know what you do for 4. I don't know.
real quick. Somebody was saying that officially with this body count, this tops Jason Voorhees and Friday the 13th. And then I was the first person to bring up the point in the comment thread. So nobody's going to count the 20K people that he killed when Grendel tore down that filling station, because it was scripted that there were 20,000 people living on that filling station.
Wait, which
So
one?
Jason X. So now Michael Myers' body count is higher. Except in Jason X, when the ship crashes into that filling station and blows it up, where they thought they were going to be rescued, there were 20,000 people living there.
Well, I thought it was just a rescue ship. I didn't think it was a rescue area.
Nope, and it's a rescue area that had 20,000 people.
Yeah,
So
I don't know. That's they died, but it wasn't directly from Jason. I mean,
if
he didn't
Jason
do it on
wasn't on the
purpose.
ship, they wouldn't be dead.
Yeah, I don't know. That's interesting. That's
I'm doing
interesting.
it to be facetious, but it also gets people talking like crap. If that, I mean, it's in the movie, it's canon. Therefore, if that's true, it's going to take a lot more Halloween movies for him to top it.
Right. Oh yeah. Well, it never realistically. See, I kind of buy it. Like, and I think it's the fact that I'm just kind of happy with the flashback that we ever even got one, and that they didn't completely slap us in the face with Donald Pleasance. I think out of respect for him because he's dead, I lower the bar on it. I think is that and that I understand. Like I understand where you're coming from, man. That's the only way I justify it, because what you're saying is right. He does sound off. Well, he sounds off because he's not Donald Pleasance. Like we've all been here where there's somebody right next to you that's so loud, and you're just like, please shut up. This is like our last theater experiences. But this dude is actually a bartender, which is cool, and he's so organic. Like his dialogue is so good.
Did you find out about the gentleman who acted as the guy with the umbrella from 18, and then in this movie is the guy? I
Yeah,
did not know until maybe 3 days ago that he passed before its release.
yeah. Rest in peace.
And
Yep.
that's really sad. His character is actually one of the standouts in this movie. Like,
I kind of wish he would have been. I kind of wish he would have had a little bit more to do, a little bit more than just a misunderstood, like, I don't know. I get it, but if you're gonna really zone in on him, I wish we'd got a little bit more. I thought they were gonna, like I told you, I thought they were gonna make him to be Charlie Bowles from the original '78 Graveyard scene, where he talks about, he went, killed his whole family, and then he gets interrupted. I thought they were gonna try to throw that in there because they throw 1,000 things of nostalgia at us, but.
you know,
And this speech is weird. Like I get it, but it is kind of weird. I don't know.
the more that I think about Tommy Doyle's character in this, the more cringe he is, and the more happy I am that Paul Rudd didn't do it.
Yeah. I mean, at least he fits though. Like he's a thicker build. He kind of has that like I'm just gonna bully my way through anything. You know what I mean? Like he has that
Mhm.
fear to overreact kind of feeling to him, but it really makes him out to feel like he's a simpleton. Like he can't see before 3 feet in front of his face. And I know that's what part of this is going for, but the whole town freaks out. Like you deleted Halloween 2, which has a lot bigger body count, but you're telling me that people would be this freaked out 40 years later, and it is 40 years later, mind you, because this takes place the same night in 2018, and they're going to tell you 15 times that it's 40 years later. Even
No.
Cameron says it. The kid, he's been tormenting our family for 40 years. A kid would not say that. He'd just be like, he wouldn't say that. Like, they say 40 years. Anyway, it's annoying. They say it just as much as Evil Dies Tonight. But,
Hey, really quick, it's been 40 years and Evil dies tonight.
my God.
Again, the dialogue in this film is a problem.
People right here, people complain about this scene right there, where it's got Brackett looking at his daughter, because they're like, well, now you're just retroactively shoving that in there. It's like, it pisses me off because you guys don't understand subtlety. They can use a clip from Halloween 2 because it still fits. He would be carried out by a gurney. More likely than not, he would be there. More likely than not, he would be done for the day, legitimately. Like, he would be wrecked.
Yeah.
He could go into vengeance mode, sure. But he even says he had
Yeah.
to go home and consult his wife. I don't understand how people get upset about that. It works. Stop whining.
No, I don't have a problem with that one at all.
It works. Like, and it's good.
Okay, real quick, sir, you do need to see Halloween 6 because it is so divisive, in my opinion. Um, I think just start with the theatrical cut. The producer's cut's going to piss you off if you start there. Um, and I prefer the producer's cut, um, except I like it cuts away some of the action, um, which is actually what Halloween 6 is really known for, is how good Michael is himself versus some of the other sequels. So give it a watch. Give it a
It, real,
watch.
real quick, I just wanted to talk about like the subtleties that people don't understand in this movie that piss me off also. They're like, I just don't understand why these legacy characters, these throwaway characters from the original, the fan service characters are in here. They say in there every year they show up at this bar, which Nurse Chambers, like, she is from another town, so that is a little far fetched. I mean, they could have a survivors group and come together.
Yeah,
You know,
a
it
survivor group.
right,
It fits.
exactly.
It fits. We went through the same trauma. Every year we're going to get together to commemorate that
Right,
as a unit,
especially well,
catch up. That
especially
works.
for the 40th anniversary that they're going to say 10,000 times. Like, and then
Mhm.
when Tommy says, Lori, wherever you are, it also, if you read it a certain way, she could always
Yeah.
show up there and just
Yeah.
didn't this one night. Oh,
Real
dude,
quick.
this is
This is
so
my
BA.
favorite because I was like, Michael should be dead if he's down there. But this garage door, it fit. It made sense. It made it why he's not just a baked potato.
But once again, he's full on supernatural because you cannot be down there for 10 minutes. There's no oxygen. You're dead. There's fumes. Like, you're sucking in smoke. You're dead. I don't care that he has a mask on.
But it worked, even if suspension of disbelief, if they went for human, you could see that working.
Right, but at the end, when they nail it home, he's supernatural. I don't want to hear it because this is the kind of stuff that just adds to your supernatural argument. Like, I could make a 5 minute video on like on why Michael Myers is supernatural changed my mind. You could not argue it. He's supernatural. I don't care. Oh, there's people that don't feel pain. Okay, do they still need air?
No, they die if they don't feel enough of the pain. It's
Right,
actually a
exactly.
very big problem.
They still bleed out. I mean, do they need oxygen though? Do they still need to breathe? This is awesome though. Like, this right here, this shoulder shrug moment, like, this is like, oh, so good.
But imagine that shot, but it's Jason.
Oh yeah, this movie, that's one of my biggest problems with it. If you put a Jason mask digitally over Michael Myers right here, this is a Friday the 13th movie. If you stop
Yeah.
saying 40 years,
And Evil dies tonight.
I mean, really, this is Michael Myers. I
This
mean,
is
there
a
is some,
flat out Jason scene.
yeah, but they do
But
add to the playfulness of Michael Myers, which also does help that he is Michael Myers. Without that, this would be nothing but a Jason movie. So they do some stuff that reinforces Michael, but It's just way too much Jason. That right there, that's supernatural.
That was a nod to H2 with the knife in the back.
Yeah. Well, and Bob really in H1. I love that turning of the saw. I love it. I love the POV shots. I love Michael kind of like
I didn't like the
I,
flashbacks to the old movies in the bar. Eh, again, I didn't really have a problem with it.
I get it,
For
man. Like
me,
this movie had a hard job of selling us the trauma of three dead bodies of three victims in the town. It also had a hard time selling us the trauma of the town that they would uprise like this. They had to go full tilt with every single being of this movie to make us believe that the town would be that bloodthirsty. And I don't even believe that they would be that bloodthirsty. I think they would chase him down. But I don't
no.
think people would be chomping at the bit to rip a person's heart out that they've never seen. Obviously, they've never seen because they think this dude who's like barely 5 feet is the same thing as Michael that's 6 foot plus. Like, come on, man. This scene right here is great because I know a lot of people were complaining about the husband in 2018. For everybody that didn't like him when he died, nobody had a time, but they didn't have time to react. Like Michael Myers was in the house; it was going down.
I hear so many people complain about the dad, and it really bugs me because he really was like just your goofy, oddball, happy go lucky dad, and I didn't see a problem with him as a character at all. Like,
Well, he fits perfectly with Judy Greer. She would want somebody that's not serious, that'll take care of her, that is confident but is kind, that's silly.
yeah.
She wears a sweater, a Christmas sweater, because she hates Halloween because of her upbringing. Like she believes in the system because her mom failed her and because her mom tormented her. Like she believes in all this crap because of her past. She nails it. He nails it from a perspective. I understand if he's annoying and he just isn't your cup of tea. I understand that.
No,
But what once again for what they were going for, I think they nailed it. I think Karen is fine. I think she nails her role up until the
no,
end when she makes a stupid decision. It makes no sense.
no.
I think she's a really good, caring person. I mean, in the middle of it, when she's trying to save dude, she really is trying to be a good person. I don't know. I think she is the other side of the coin where she is blind trusting to a dangerous degree.
No.
I get irritated with people that talk about her acting. There's a couple bad spots, but I think it's poor dialogue and some bad editing. I don't think it's her fault at all. Like I just feel so bad that she has to get so much crap. Okay, Caleb, watch this scene because I'm telling you, if you watch it this go around without a laughing crowd, it's going to be a lot better. Yeah, I mean they're quippy, they're fun, but they're just having fun. It's Halloween night.
Yeah.
He's trying to get laid. She's busy. I would be kind of stunned by that too. I'd be like, right,
I
like
didn't realize in the theater that it was thrown back out.
I did. I was just like, but I think his reaction was really really well done. Like that. Don't think that could happen, but see, I like that she's smart. Like she's I don't know why she grabbed this was stupid because they laughed in the theater and it on first viewing it was a little funny. I'll give it that, but grabbing the drone thing was stupid. But grabbing the bottle was smart.
Yeah.
I don't know why Michael's bandaging his hand. He doesn't need to.
And they technically don't show it, but this is obviously where he does it because he comes out of there with a bandaged hand.
When he's being quiet too, he's not stalking them. Like he's probably going to kill him, but he's not stalking them. He's bandaging himself. He's hiding in the house. He keeps doing this. He doesn't stalk people. He's just in their house and they come looking for him like idiots. That's a
Yeah.
problem with Michael Myers in this movie. God, I love that though.
Big feller in our bathroom.
See, I believe his delivery.
Yeah,
I mean, in the it's a lot better not in the theater. This
it
because
is. Ooh.
I love this new yanking by the neck thing. And then like she like in a panic can't get the door open. That's realistic. Like she's
Yeah.
trying her damnedest but can't do it.
Yeah, no offense though. I'm not taking my chances. I'm keeping my back turned and I'm trying to get that door open still.
Well, here's what I never understood too. If you've got a little kid and you've ever played keep away with a parent, or when you were a kid playing keep away, you could just like run around the island. It would have been kind of funny for her just like run around the island in the rooms until Michael caught up with her and killed her. You know what I mean? Little cat and
Mhm.
mouse. That's a brutal scene, man.
It is.
Inventive. See, and I think we're more crucial in these movies about him being supernatural too, is because, in Halloween 1 and 2, by the end of 2, he's full on supernatural. But it's done playing because it's done by the end of the second movie, right? If you go
Yeah.
into the fourth movie, you're full on accepting he's supernatural. You know what I mean? And the whole movie doesn't play out or is directed by the fact that he's supernatural. And I don't know. It frustrates me because like some of these characters have no chance fighting against him, but they still do. And I feel bad that they get taken out stupidly because they just don't know what they're up against.
Like the
And
whole mob.
yeah, and like in the car, like it just doesn't seem like there's that much
See,
off
and
tone in the other movies.
this I do like. It feels like the kid Michael Myers studying what he's doing. Like he's just like, let me try this one. What's this one like?
It's just weird because we haven't really seen much of this. We haven't seen much of the playfulness. We just see the after effects. I think
Yeah.
that's why it stood out to me first, and I don't like it. It's okay. It's not a creative decision I would have taken, but once again, I've never made a movie. But this had a test screening. I'm sure that was on the docket of like, look, Michael wouldn't do this, but they invite anybody into those, which is really stupid.
Yeah, I remember reading that the test screenings were 50-50. Like people were more torn on this than they were 2018.
Yeah.
And I feel like that it rings true because this one's it's a hard sell for a lot of us. And then I see people who just praise it, and I don't know.
Well, see here,
I
and
love
that
how all of a sudden they're like, "Yeah, sorry, we were kind of telling you to shut up earlier. Can I buy you a drink?"
well, and this also demonstrates how the town is just like easy to forgive based on Michael Myers. Like, oh yeah, sorry, you guys were annoying earlier. Can I buy you a drink? Your story moved me. Like, I don't know. I don't know. I just feel like they would have announced Michael Myers like had escaped. He'd already killed people in 2018 that they knew about. I just don't understand why Michael Myers is loose. Take caution tonight when you're trick or treating. Like they should have already been on high alert while they're at the bar. Like Tommy
Yeah.
should have been already more angry at the bar.
That dude that I was watching his videos, he was like, "You all have the TV on. You all have phones. You probably have social media. Some of you probably have news alerts. Somebody in that bar should have raised this about 5 minutes earlier."
Right. When you're telling me that this is such a big deal to a few people, especially to the town, you're telling me that the town wouldn't have done a little brief overview like a 9/11, because that's how they treat this, is like a 9/11, everybody, like New Yorkers pulling together to defeat the bad guy. Like you're telling me they wouldn't have a build description of Michael Myers? Like they wouldn't have, I don't know. Like yeah, once the death started in early day 2018 in the movie 2018, they, Michael Myers, that would have been on everybody's radar. Somebody would have leaked it, and like you said, it would have been all over Facebook. Like, it's stupid. Like, it's a little frustrating because it could have helped the movie's selling point. I do like this guy. He reminds me of Sean Bean, like a lot. And also, once again, it shows you it's also pushing towards that they've been drinking, so they're going to make some stupid decisions, which also might be a commentary on drinking. I doubt it. It's just another thing to help sell it, because there's a lot that has to be sold to make this movie work.
Also, they're slow to react to this news story. Like, I feel like they're like, "Oh God, I wonder who it could be or what it could be," and just
Right, this is like what,
watching.
8 hours later, 6 hours later at least?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is crap, man. This stuff should have been happening already.
I do like Julian's cameo in this though.
Yeah, my very best babysitter, my very best number one babysitter.
Yeah.
He's such a good actor. I wish I would have got to talk to him, paid for his autograph. Just was tapped out by that point in 2019's Crypticon.
Can you write nasty ass toenails on your autograph, please?
Right. Yep. 40 years ago. I just love how he says it. Like I buy that delivery very well, and I love it. He's like, "Oh," I just like that little bit of comedy works for me.
Especially because it's a little kid line delivery. Like kids say things like that. Like
Right.
also, real quick, why are they splitting up? Like I said this in the theater, I think. I was like, no,
Right.
no.
But why
You
would you
can
even leave the bar? Like I would just be like, well, we're closing this thing down. I'm like, I'm gonna get an Uber. You're gonna meet me right at the front door.
and I called it too. This was so on the nose. And I knew.
You know, I kind of liked the throwback just because it hadn't really been done again in Halloween that I can think of, and that was in the Halloween franchise. I can't think of it. I'm sure it has been, but the fog from the original movie was really cool and creepy. So I actually was kind of disappointed that they didn't go for it. It's weird because they hit you over the head with nostalgia, and then when it really could have been amazing at the very end of the movie, they cut it from the end of the movie. When if you didn't kill us with nostalgia overload and you would have put the original ending in there, would have been mind-blowingly amazing.
Yeah.
For those of you that don't
Dumb.
know, the original ending, spoilers obviously, Karen dies. Um, Laurie calls Karen before she gets killed, and Karen answers the phone, says something. Michael kills her. The phone drops. Michael picks up the phone, and Laurie hears the struggle, and she hears Michael breathing, and she knows what's happening. She has a pause. She has all of it hit her. It's a throwback to the original Halloween, and she says, "Michael, I'm coming for you," and she leaves the hospital coming for Michael, but they had to change it because there's a 4-year gap now, and they're going another direction. They would have been sick to end it that way.
And I do think that also may have to do with some of the test audiences. Because I did read somewhere that there was reshoots after a couple test screenings, and that pisses me off because I'm wanting to know who would say that ending is worse than this ending.
I don't.
Who?
I like I said, I don't think that was changed because of. I don't. Like I said, I think they're going to try to pull something with how Michael Myers is not superhuman, so that's why he's got 4 years. They also wanted to like Laurie Strode can barely walk. It's not going to be a very good fight scene if you do it the
Real,
same night.
real quick, wasn't the Halloween 4 truck a blue F-150 too? Because that's
The
the truck
Halloween
you just ran off the road.
Halloween what truck?
Halloween 4?
At the end it
That
was
Michael
red.
Vaughn? Huh?
It was red.
Was it red?
It
It
was,
was a blue Chevy in Halloween 6.
yeah, in the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Was it a red? Yeah.
it was red in 4. But yeah,
I
I don't
know
know.
what
This
I think
character
of.
was a nice, like right here, I liked it. I was like, oh yeah, cool. Because I was always saying that it'd be kind of cool to have side problems with these other characters, like have a few of them go out, causing chaos to where the police force was kind of stretched because they were still trying to get the rest of these guys that could have also been slightly dangerous.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I don't know. Now these guys on a second watch, I still think they're a little too on the nose. I think they should have been toned down a little bit. I think it's great to have representation, obviously, but it's something you really got to toe the line with, and dealing with stereotypes is really touchy. But I like the fact that they are celebrating. Like they're making a nice spread. He's upstairs jamming out to some records. Like this is some classy stuff. But like
I can't not
it's the
see
subtleties
Stewart.
that are a little too on the nose.
I can't not see Stewart.
Yeah, I don't know him from that. I
Dude,
don't.
I watched a lot of Mad TV and SNL when I was a kid. Me and my cousin used to like do the channel switch between the two during commercial breaks, and we always waited for Stewart to come on.
Yep. Take a drink every time they say Little John, Big John. Holy bejesus. This is a drinking game. You'll just
No,
die. Like you can't make a drinking game out of this game at all, or out of this. You can't nothing.
that I mean, Evil or Michael dies tonight, you'd be dead.
40
Dead.
years, Big John, Little John. Like sniff your beer every time they say one of those, and you're still dead.
What? I'm sorry.
If you sniffed your beer every time they did those, you'd still be dead. Like you'd inhale
Yeah.
too many fumes or hyperventilated. Dude, I actually like this scene right here. This is really cool. Like it's not cool how they actually like rob these dudes, but they have the ability to make like look good looking barf unless they actually threw up and put a razor in this. And then you put the same kids in the path of Michael later on because he's on his way home. It's nice to get familiar with these kids and you kind of hate them.
I think they like these kids like that barf and stuff. It was a nice throwback to Halloween 2 in a new,
Right.
unique way.
Right. Well, once again, yeah, you get more of the Shamrock Mask, which I'm not a big fan of. I think they overdid it. But the way they make you at least like the characters or get invested in these little characters for the moment they're on here, I really, really like that. And you know what I mean? Like, here are some details that on a third watch, I'm starting to like this movie a little bit better. Like little jerks like these, they don't care about any little stories you're going to tell them. They just don't care. They're too obnoxious and don't care. They wouldn't care what anything comes out of their mind or out of their mouths.
No, you'd have to threaten them with violence yourself.
Right, you'd actually have to like smack one of them or something.
Yeah. But when they did that shot up to the window, I was hoping maybe we would have saw like just like the mirror shot in Halloween 2018 where you can see Michael through the mirror.
Like
I
he's
was
already
gonna
in
be
their
like,
house.
"Oh." Yeah,
Yeah,
that would have been cool.
yeah.
But I don't know. I like this couple. I think
Like I think everybody likes him. I mean, for the most part, I think everybody likes him. But I've also heard some backlash from the community that it's a fine line and it got overplayed a little bit.
for me personally, the only thing that I'm bothered by is all of the new introductory characters are a comic relief.
Right,
Either
and
the
then they
couple
and they
in the
added
beginning,
to it.
this couple, the kids, somebody needs to not be a comic relief. Like,
But I
no.
get them all the way up until they're in danger. I really like them. But then he picks up
I've
this
got
stupid
this
little
knife, I've
knife.
got this knife. Bro, no.
Ugh.
I'll say it every time I see that scene. You were at the back door. You were at the front door. If
Oh,
both of
oh,
you
oh,
leave,
oh! Did you see it? Nudity.
uh-uh.
They just showed you Sartain's wee wee.
I didn't need that anyways.
They literally
Um,
saw you. Literally just saw his wee wee.
I didn't because I was looking over here. But
I only knew that because somebody else pointed it out.
you're at opposite doors in the house.
There it is
Little
again.
John,
Look.
Big John.
Oh, you missed it
If you would've
again.
left, if you just leave, the end of your story. Michael's staring out his window. He doesn't care about you. You're gone. Also, the window thing has me really worried that we're going to tap into some like more supernatural, more weird, like Insidious or Woman in Black or like Mirrors or some sort of weird story like that. And that really bugs me.
See right here, this speech that Karen's giving, like she's so warped by her own mother and like how Michael is tied to her mom that she buys in that it's her mom's fault. Like, and I buy this. This is great. This is really good. Transitioning different characters' opinions, thoughts, process. Like I just like it. Then you get Lori's thought process. Yeah, she's still obsessed with Michael, thinking that she's on the same wavelength. Like, and then Allison's the only one that really kind of knows the truth.
Yeah.
Um,
I feel
no,
like this movie does struggle from lack of communication between Lori, Allison, and Karen. Like,
Yeah.
if Allison would have just said what she knew and then Karen wasn't trying to overshadow the issue, this whole movie could have been wrapped up at the 40-minute mark.
Yeah. Michael Myers is alive. Like, I don't know, his delivery sucked, but it's not his
Yeah.
fault that his character just sucks. I will say though, at the end with Michael staring out the window, I don't think it's a window thing. I think it's Michael. I think, like I said, Michael Myers is a meth addict. I think his first experience with his sister was his best kill ever, and that's why he's getting meaner and meaner. And then he goes home. He's in his own home. He's looking at the window. He's looking at his own reflection of evil. I think he wants to relive the kill of his sister as much as possible.
Yeah, I don't know. I again, this is it's it's a
It'll be
two
better
part.
explained in the next movie, probably.
It's a double-edged sword. Like any risk you take is going to upset some fans and make others adore it. Um, this movie could have panned out the way that I wanted it to, and other people would have absolutely loathed it. So I don't know. I no.
Jabari, he kills people in this movie like a meth addict.
Man, he acts like he hangs out in front of some shady gas stations at 2 a.m.
He is angry in this movie. He's like, "Look, you almost cut down my Halloween night short in that fire. I've got
The way
work to
he
do."
approaches groups in this movie is like he sells CDs on the street in Detroit. Like, hey, check out my single, man. Check out my single. Oh man. Oh
Like,
man.
I like strong characters. I do. I just, I don't know. With your dad telling you, "Hey, son, maybe they go shooting on the weekends. I don't know. But hey, son, we're going to go hunt this guy down." If your dad is stupid and irresponsible and kind of coax you into it, I could buy Cameron going with his dad. Like he saw a traumatic thing. Maybe he found out his buddy died. Like, I don't know. His girlfriend was attacked. I just don't quite buy Allison. I understand her dad was killed. I do, but like her grandmother's hurt. I don't know. I just don't know if I would buy it that you'd be willing to go up against Michael Myers again after what you just saw. I'd be like, nope, I'm done. I don't want anything to do with this. Like, I
Bro,
just
I
think
can
most
tell
people would
you
see Michael Myers one time and be like, that's enough. I never need to come up again. I'm moving.
that's the other thing. Like after what she sees in this movie, like with Halloween Ends, it needs to be her story. Because I feel like 2018 was Lori. This was totally Karen's. I really feel like the next one needs to be hers, and if it's not, I think it's a missed opportunity. But at the same time, after what she saw in this movie, like, do you really want to go up against it again? Really
Right.
want to play it again?
Right, exactly. Like, Lori doesn't care. She spent her whole life trying to go after Michael. She wants to die. She wants him to die. She doesn't care. But, like,
Yeah.
you've seen what you've seen now. I just don't feel like you would go for it. And I don't know, dude. It's
For Lori, it's like if she kills him, and like she says in this, my last breath will be taking his last breath, or whatever that quote was. It makes sense for her character. It fits. Even if you took that as H2O or H2 or whatever, it fits. Like that concept fits. I can work with that here too. But
well, and dude, like her stupid dialogue too. When she's in the back of the car and they figure out he's going to to Michael's going home, she's like, well, then that's where we're going. Like, dude, you're not leading the charge here. Like, just sit back and like let the adult handle the situation. Like, I just feel like they were really trying to like hammer the fact that she's a strong final girl. I just feel like it was rammed down the throat a bit much. Like Lindsay here, when she grabs, like, her friends are getting hurt and she grabs a bag and she fills it up with bricks and she goes up against Michael to hopefully save her friends, but she's too late. I buy that she's a BA, but she doesn't just.
now,
I don't know.
real quick, how did I said it in the theater? How did nobody else grab the shotgun first? I'm just
Right.
saying, if I would have been there first, that shotgun's mine.
See, like, we hunt him down. Like, she doesn't need that dialogue. Cut out the 40 years thing. Cameron said it. She said it. Stop. Like, she can say the 40-year mark thing because her, I'm sure everybody else has talked about Halloween forever and a half, but just stop repeating stuff. It's just bad dialogue. I do like that they're going around and telling the town to get inside. I really like that they're at least protecting the town. They're not just hunting down Michael Myers. They're telling people, like, look, if you're not with us, just go home and be safe. I really do like that they are at least not just bloodthirsty, they are helping each other out still.
But I also feel like as soon as Tommy started doing this, I knew where we were going to go. I didn't necessarily see what happens to him coming. I really thought, spoilers, more spoilers. I really thought he was going to get uh, uh, at least a little bit of time and ends. Um,
I
but
thought he would have a better ending. Like he just, I don't know. His dialogue is crap. He's just a very
the most unceremonious death in this is totally to Chambers.
eh,
She just stabbed.
yeah.
And
Well,
she's only in this little bit of the movie.
yeah, big too. Can you handle it? See, I do like it's on the nose, but it's really funny. When it's like I'm a doctor and he's a nurse, when it's flipped, like that's kind of funny. Like that's creative, funny flow, especially in today's world where we are playing these games of trying to, you know what I'm saying. I like that, but it was a lot when everything is just in your face trying to be jokes. I love
Yeah.
these annoying little kids, dude. I'm glad they edited out the kid. He was supposedly going to have his head like ripped off by Michael Myers. I'm glad they got rid of it. I think it's more impactful to see Michael just holding the head
Yeah.
with the mask still on. Dude, it's so awesome. It's a good shot.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, out of all the returning cast, she's the best. It's amazing. Everybody aged so well from the original cast. Like it's just nuts. I don't know if you know, this is like 40 plus years later.
Evil dies tonight.
See, like, stop taking stupid shots. Like, I understand you're in a panicky thing, but first shot I get because at least you hit something. See, this is what a good final anybody should do. You're screwed.
Yeah.
You don't have anything. You create some kind of weapon, and then you go toe to toe to save somebody, and you have no chance. Like, this is good stuff right here. But unfortunately, in this whole scene, she's the only one that gets that.
Yeah.
Like, what did she just shoot at?
The window.
Like that right there, that's a legit shot. You're desperate. See, here she goes. She's outside. She's got the gun in her hand. Michael's preoccupied. Husband's got him by the wrist. 1, 2, 3, 4 shots at least on Michael without him even reacting. A lot of people get irritated by that. I kind of like the fact that there's no more bullets because most of the time in the heat of the moment with a 6-shooter or however many bullets are in that, probably 6, you just don't keep track. You're stupid. You're not used to shooting a gun. I get it. I'll buy that. It's kind of lame, but it wouldn't have done anything to Michael anyway.
Yeah.
This right here, this head turn is epic. Don't you touch my pizza rolls. And the death was just a little too comedic. Like, I don't know if they meant it to or not, but... And now she's shooting at him, literally a minute later. What was she doing? Where the hell is she?
Yeah. I don't know. Heh, 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 heh.
At this point, I kind of wish Lindsay would have rolled up on him a little earlier, like been on the other side of the car, like, like waiting for him. But because now, like, it's too late, man. They're all dead.
Yeah, if you notice that many of the people you were with just died, I may
Right.
not go up solo.
See, I'm kind of hoping that, like, the survivors can, like, if there's very many, can be like, no, guys, you don't understand. He's fully supernatural. Like, I hit him with bricks. We did all this stuff to him. He can't be stopped by normal stuff. Like, stop coming at him with irons and bats and other crap. Like, bring
Yeah, the
a
iron
rocket launcher.
still gets me. Sorry, I'm having a be a little more quiet. I guess son woke up a little bit, so
Oh no, you're good. No, this is a good scene right here. I would have queued up the music a little bit more. Like, can you imagine if this would have the shape stocks Allison? Bong, just like I don't know. I do like the subtlety of it, so I neither way. But here comes a shot that's my favorite shot in the entire movie. The way the mask is lit, it looks just like the original. I said this in the theater. Wait for it. Not there. It's a close up right there. It looks just like the original mask. It looks beautiful. Just a little 2 second shot, but I love it. And I like the light coming off the water like that, kind of exposing Lindsay to a degree and giving it more to look at. But the breathing thing right there, which is I have no problem with Michael breathing, but it just feels like Jason. It feels like
yeah.
Kane Hodder, shoulder shrugging, just walking around. I don't know. Because it's in the woods, right? It feels Friday the 13th ish. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Got a bridge right there, very Friday the 13th ish, like the lake. I don't know. He must have taken a wide circle. Yeah, it must be the part where I stopped. Yeah, like I said, there's like the problem with this movie is like the dialogue's terrible and the characters all make stupid decisions. It's
They
brutal.
really do.
I like how relaxed she is because she thinks she's finally got Michael to where she doesn't have to be all Terminator mode. I'm drugged up. Let him bring me breakfast. I don't care.
I just because I didn't notice it in theaters, her throwing that card away and she's saying, "I man,
Well, once again, she's just, Mom, you tried and failed. Like let the police handle this. She doesn't. Nobody understands. Like Lori doesn't understand how crazy Michael is and how supernatural. Karen doesn't understand. And they're like, Lori can only trust in herself. Karen can only trust in the system.
I like the flop. Yeah, I knew your dad. He used to sell me peyote, and that's what."
Well, yeah, you always gotta be the good guy in your story. I like how he's got a cup of coffee there. I don't know why, but he takes a drink of it a few times and he takes another drink before he gets out to the house. I don't know why. It just he feels like that kind of guy that would have an open container because he just doesn't care. Like he's got his early '90s vehicle, whatever that is. I don't know why. It's a nice touch. I like. It's stupid. I just like it. I like Lonnie too. I think he's a great character in this one.
No.
See, I get the feeling that Tommy is kind of a he wants to be a leader, but he's never really led anything. Like not a football team, not a bridge thing for old ladies. Like, but this is like his one time to shine.
And that leadership, I feel like, came from his experience with Michael years ago.
Well, I think yeah, now's his time to shine. He saw Lori take charge and save him, and now it's his turn to protect people from the boogeyman. Jabari says, "Be right back. I'm gonna go poop." All right, man. Enjoy.
Thanks for not taking us with you.
He just said, "Be right back." I filled that in because I don't know. The playground thing was cool. We get the masks. It's okay. I don't know. The mask really bothered me the first time around, but now that they actually had the kids with the mask in the first movie, and then they take a bigger role in this one, like I like how he spread out the candy on the merry-go-round. It plays better a second watch.
Yeah.
God, I get Lonnie, like his reaction's great, but
Tommy's isn't.
he's just blah. He's just I don't know, he's just blah. I don't know. Even at the end, I would almost rather him be a coward and just run away and just be like, nope. That way we can for real hate him. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like he was a kid. It's okay to hate just because he's in the original movie. He didn't do a whole lot in the original movie. It would have been almost better to save his own skin and get everybody else killed, and he's part of the problem and blah blah blah. Like I don't know. I would have almost rather him been a coward and leave.
Yeah.
This is really good dialogue that doesn't really need to be in this movie. I mean, I'm glad that it's trying to flesh out and expand on Hawkins. So I'm hoping he's a bigger character to make this more important. He's got to do something bigger in the third movie because they've spent a lot of time with his character for not doing a whole lot.
He's not in the third one.
Right. He moves away. Man, they two great actors with some good dialogue. Thank God for not giving Jamie Lee Curtis much to do in this movie. Like she does less in this movie than she does in H2.
Yeah.
God dang, man. Like how much money did she make as a producer as starring in this role with like I mean, like I said in our review, I think she acts her butt off this whole movie. Like for what she's given, she's selling it. She's screaming, she's selling it, but what a paycheck. Even him, he's laying in the bed the whole movie.
No. That is funny. Well, it's about time.
What's yours? I'm 11. For those of you that don't understand, you can't just actually make stuff like that a double. It doesn't work that way. Now, here's what I don't understand. I'm sure she's hurt because she was like being throat crushed. Is she this hurt? Like she looks like she's got a gunshot in the stomach about to die. See,
And
this
then
is
this
nice
is
too
really
because they were
what?
talking about him going to the door and never being brave enough to go inside, and that's what makes him do something stupid at the end was doubting his own whatever. So it kind of
Mhm.
plays with that.
Yeah.
And this is what people don't get too. Like, look, I understand and I agree that people would not be this bloodthirsty. But with as many bodies as they wheel into this hospital, with as many grieving people freaking out about their family members in the waiting rooms and everything else like that, I do think people would be ready to go. I don't think they would be like bloodthirsty animals, but I do think that they would be chasing them down. I just think they should have toned it down just a little bit. Like, you can have the mom running through the halls like wild-eyed and freaking out, but you can't. I don't know. I just don't. Just too much. Just dial it down. And like this dude could be arrested right here for inciting a riot. Like he would be arrested.
And there's the sheriff just staring, watching.
You're like, this talks about police failure and the crowd mob mentality. But right there, they would have arrested Tommy. They'd be like, "Hey, knock it off!" And if he would have mouthed off again, they would have arrested him.
Yeah.
Especially you're in his face telling me failed. it doesn't help that he was set up to be a dumb character from the beginning. So you do kind of buy it a little bit that he just lets it get out of hand because he's that bureaucrat that lets everybody else below him do all the work and he takes the glory.
Yeah.
And here's another 40-year reference. Like, he can say it because his daughter died. I get that. 40 years ago, when I was a kid. Oh. I like that she yelled at her enough to get her out of there to where the drugs were still there. See, I do think Lori was at the bar every year on Halloween. Either I would buy it that she would be there.
Yeah.
Oh, this hurts me. I don't have a problem with needles, but whoop, right in a tushy. What darkness did you create? What darkness?
The
This makes me think. This makes me think a little bit that they're going to retcon that first movie and they're going to have Lori flip the bus.
See, her having the knife and stuff in the hospital makes me feel like the original ending to it fits a lot better, and now it was just kind of left in
yeah,
because it feels pointless now.
it does, man. What are they watching? I think it's a horror movie, isn't it? I think it's
What?
some kind of classic. I feel bad for not knowing it.
Yeah, I don't know what it is.
Dude, I want that house jacket, whatever he's got. It looks comfortable AF. And here's what I don't understand also, like I kind of wish they would have made it a little bit of a colder night. You know what I mean? Like where you could see a little bit more breath maybe. You could play with stuff like this. But dude's in his underwear basically in a wife beater and he's outside not flinching. Like maybe it's because I'm a wuss, but if I'm outside for 2 seconds in my boxers and a wife beater, I'm gonna be shaking. I'm a wuss. So okay, so now let's keep track here because now they're at the front door. So Big John, excuse me, that's Little John because he's the big one. Which I have no problems there. It's funny. He shuts the door. There's a wall right there. He's right by where you would have to walk. No, hang on. But he's right by the steps, isn't he? I can't remember. There's something where I was like, there's just no way. He's right by the steps. So it doesn't matter if Michael Myers gets in the back door. Like, I understand he's a ninja, but you gonna walk right past you, ninja?
Well, he at least could have made it in, but he may not have made it up the stairs by this point.
But then there's only two. There's only two walls. Like there's the wall he just turned around in. Like he knocked over the trash can. Like there's no way Michael made it in the house and upstairs. There's no way unless he opened the door, went outside, and crawled up a ladder. It's just that's what I have to say is he climbed up the outside. But the movie wants you to think he was inside like a ninja. He wasn't. There's no way he could make it past those two.
Yeah.
And this is where it's stupid too. It's not a child. He says that. I understand being proud of your home and everything else.
Nope.
Leave. There's blood on the wall. Just leave.
Nope. Mm-mm. No. There's no need. Just leave.
I don't know. It's so dumb. I just hate, like, makes no sense. The house is small. You cannot. There's a 10-foot gap between the back door and the front door. I mean, really, it's probably more like 20. But you know what I'm saying. There's two entries to the stairs. There's going directly, and then there's that little way that Little John took. There's no way you're getting around them. You're just not. Even in the theater, I was like, what? How? And you would. I don't know. I understand certain people, like gun owners, that like want to protect themselves and have a gun at home. And if you have access to your gun, maybe going for it because that's what you've saved up for. It's your right. They're in your home. But a baby knife, when dude's already bleeding on your wall, come on. I'm sorry. I was trying to find good things about this movie, but like every single person does dumb things. And once again, Michael, he's not stalking these dudes. Like he hits the front door or hits the back door, hits the front door, then he goes upstairs. He's not stalking them. It's the same thing with the previous couple. He was just in the bathroom. He wasn't stalking them. He was just there. You shouldn't hear the boogeyman all the time and then go to him. Like, I don't know. Creative differences is just something that's really stuck out to me.
Hey, Evil dies tonight.
Evil dies tonight.
I do like how they're playing Marco Polo basically to ensure
Right.
say like for once two people splitting up in a movie are finding a way to communicate.
I wonder if there's two staircases in the Myers house. That's something I might have to look up because I didn't realize he's still looking downstairs. Like I didn't think the house was big enough to really take that long to look around in the basement. Why would you split up too? Like makes no sense. Why would you split up? There's not a prize at the end of this rainbow. Like I got to stick him with my 3-inch knife first. Woo! Like it's just so stupid. It's stupid decision after stupid decision.
Ooh.
His
And
arm is literally like that just to be stabbed in the armpit. David Gordon Green said he wanted that kill that way. And I don't know how this got an R rating with these eyeballs projecting out of the skull. Like that's some gnarly stuff. And then Big John, Little John, excuse me, it's confusing. It hurts my brain because it's the wrong way. But he rolls up, drops the knife. Sees Michael, picks back up the knife. You could hear the knife being picked up. He's like, I don't like what you've done to the place.
I don't like green on the trim.
Michael's judging him. I don't know,
How
man.
did they not realize that that guy is not Michael?
I don't know. And the fact that Little John just stood there and took it like an idiot. Like you talked to Michael. You had plenty of time to run downstairs and get out of the house. It's a straight shot from the stairs outside. I just don't understand. Is there two stairwells? I need next time I watch this, I'm going to see if the stairs are different colored than the stairs they go up. I think there's only one. In most houses, there's only one stairs upstairs, especially old houses like that. There's a 3-foot stairway up to the second floor. I like that Jamie Lee Curtis is actually hurt. Like, she's doing things a normal person couldn't do, regardless of painkillers. But I like that they actually played that she's hurt instead of most movies where they would just shake this stuff off.
Yeah, but again, I feel like that makes the end of this movie, especially knowing what the original ending intent was, it makes the end of this movie underwhelming.
Mm-hmm. See, like if that girl, the mom, would have known Tommy for whatever reason and told him, "Hey, Tommy, calm down. Like, let the cops do their job." And then she saw her son, and then she ran in, freaking out and saying, "Evil dies tonight." Like, I don't know. Maybe that would have given a little bit more punch. I don't know. Maybe if Tommy, what if Tommy would have just got arrested right there, and then he sits in a jail cell for the rest of the night? Then you can use him in the third movie, and he's not as much of a tool idiot for the rest of the movie. You know what I mean? You
Yeah,
can keep his character in there, but pull him out and save him for the next movie.
yeah.
Like he just punches a cop, boom, right in the face. Shoves that one. Not sure why he just threw his $300 hat. She had to have caused the bus crash and been a part of it because this whole dialogue's so stupid. I don't know why she thinks that she created Michael. Michael killed all of her friends before he even got to her.
Again.
Oh, I did see a gunshot in the shoulder. I don't know.
Yeah.
Seeing Michael Myers a couple times, seeing him choke out your partner and kill him, and I just don't think you're seeing anything but a crazy man in a mask. I don't think you're seeing a child. Like it is crazy how everybody just stood around there and was just like gonna let Loomis murk him. But once again,
Yeah.
Brackett wasn't there because he was tending to his family, so there's no real leadership there. A cop just died upstairs. Like it kind of makes sense that you know maybe they were gonna let Loomis just shoot him. They finally maybe everybody bought into Loomis's crap and they were he got him pumped up for another 20 minutes. It kind of leads into the whole idea of this mob mentality. But once again, if he would have shot him in the head, I don't think he would have died. I think he would have gone to the morgue and like Art in Terrifier, he would have just woke up. Spoilers, by the way. Sorry about that. I kind of would have. I like that they didn't go this route, but I kind of would have given the movie credit for killing her from not Michael. But at the same time, I think it was a dangerous ground to play with. The other escape mental patients violent. I don't know. It really adds to her character and the kindness of her character and the innocence that she wants to believe in.
Yeah. It
I
really.
just I just feel bad for Judy Greer. Like I think she does a great job. I don't think anybody else could have done a better performance. Not that I'm saying her performance is like Oscar worthy, give her the trophy now. I'm just saying that this is how her character's written. Like, what do you want from her?
Yeah.
From all we could tell, she was a good enough mom. She was a good enough wife. You know, she had some issues with her mom, understandably. You know, she's a little naive. She has some quirks.
Mm,
And I think they did a good job of actually writing her as a character that stands out. And that if you think about it, it's believable. It might be annoying. I get that. But I just seeing the look in their eyes, man. I don't know. And this guy too, it was kind of strange on how he got out to the ledge. I thought, okay, he's just gonna hang out on the ledge and maybe he'll slip. I would have liked it that he would have slipped. Like say he was just trying to get away, like right, like he was trying to climb off to the edge, and then like he gets to the point where there's a gap and he slips and falls to his death. I think I would have liked that a little bit better. That he wasn't crazy enough to kill himself. He was just trying to still get away but died by accident. I just think that adds a little bit more to the accidental issues.
but this is also still very powerful. He knows that the only way that he can go out with the least amount of suffering is by his own hand.
Well, he might be done too. Like he's been in incarceration for how God knows how many years. Like it's not like he's got a whole lot probably fun to go back to.
Yeah.
But still, I don't know. I think it's kind of lazy. Once again, what makes more sense? What's more palatable? Him like them raging to the point of crazy and him just jumping off, or like look, there's enough room for him to walk. If he slips and dies, it's even more tragic.
Yeah, it is.
I don't know. It's just sad, I think, because this movie, for as much as it gets right, it fails too. And when stuff is so close to like next level awesomeness, I just think I think that's when we get super frustrated. And the way that they linger on this, like, yeah, here's the aftermath about doing stupid stuff when you don't know the full information. I get it, movie. I really do, but apparently in the test screening, they even linger on this body even more. He's not 4'5". Like who is Tommy or Michael? And once again, he just gives up. He's like catatonic right here. He just, oh, I suck at my job. He's like, I'm so fired, and I was so close to that gold watch.
See, I just feel like the logical leap from trying to do the right thing with Michael, not knowing what the future will hold, to, yeah, it was fully an accident, bro. We can fix this. It just, the mentality change bugs me. It really bugs me.
Right. Well, do they know that Michael really can't say a word? Like, do they know that much about him that he doesn't talk? Like it works because you know what I'm saying. Like, if Michael was like, I mean, I was trying to kill him, but I didn't. He shot him in the neck. Is there any evidence? I don't know, but that's something that they don't really consider. It's almost something where if they shot Michael in the back of the head, I'd buy that a little bit more.
Yeah.
I don't know. It also plays to the innocence of Hawkins, right? Like he's manipulative, or he can be manipulated. Yeah, that innocence. He wants to do a good job, but he's kind of a failure and an easygoing guy. it plays to his boy-like charms, kind of. I don't know if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? It kind of makes sense. But
Yeah.
I guess in that scene, Tony Moran wanted some money, and then he was kind of a turd about it for this movie, so they did pay him, but they didn't use very much of it. What a turd!
I don't know. I am kind of glad that they did this though. The like, it's he's not really after you.
Thank God.
He's he's doing his own thing.
Right. See, looking at his reflection. See, she's seeing herself right now, kind of doubting all of her beliefs. Like she kind of doubted it at the end of 18, but now she's really like, well, great. Now the cops can't do anything, and my daughter's alone out there, and like, so I think this is a nice switch for Karen, but it's still a stretch to the end of the movie.
Yeah.
Just I just hate like I don't know. I just don't feel like it's earned. And especially because she's stupid later and she drops the shotgun to pull out a knife at a dude's stomach. Like, why did you drop the shotgun? Like, they're dead. Like, don't crouch near the body. I don't know. They try to sell her as a strong final girl. I just don't buy it.
Mm,
Part of me does like it that he does live up to that. Like he is a dummy to his end.
yeah.
But I think the coward aspect would have been better. Because you could have kept him, you could have had maybe some redemption in the next movie, or made his death super gnarly in the next movie. See, he's gonna take a drink out of that mug again, and I don't know why. It's just like that little, like maybe there's liquid courage in there.
Yes, yes, I do expect you to sit there, but I'm also stupid and drove you to the place we were going.
You've seen Michael get shot in the face and survive a burning building, and you're eager to go in another house with him in it. Like, I like that the first time I heard it. Now I don't like it because it's like he's saying goodbye. Like he doesn't have any confidence in himself.
I felt it, and I was like, well, your finish line's actually going to be soon for both of you. Like when we were in theaters, I was like, yeah, you're both going.
Right. Well, I would have been like, look, if you don't hear anything from me in 3 minutes, just drive away. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like to leave him out there, like I don't know, it's just so dumb.
Hello, Michael. I'm at your front door.
Well, there's a lot of history right here. Like the Lonnie, get your ass away from that. Like he's never had the courage to go in, but now he's in front of his kid. People are depending on him. People are dying. Once again, it's that tough guy mentality too.
Yeah.
He's in there for like 10 seconds, and she's so gung ho to get in there. Like she should be terrified of Michael Myers after what she's seen. Terrified,
Mhm.
right? Didn't she see Sartain get crushed? I can't remember if she saw Sartain's head get crushed, but she was in the back
I,
of the car with him. She's seen him get hit by a car. Like, like she should want no part of Michael Myers, shotgun or not, especially with only Cameron to back her up.
exactly.
Okay, I'm trying to check out these steps. I know there's no two. I know there's not two stairways. I just know it. There's just no way. I do like the panic breathing. Boom, shakalaka. Oh, and that pumpkin took it like a champ because there is no buckshot on the back of that wall. That was a sturdy pumpkin. They're exploding rounds, very small exploding rounds.
So maybe the shotgun wasn't the best weapon after all.
I guess not. It's like a, I don't know. It's like a 100 gauge or something.
I did hear this that Michael stages them like that photo,
Right. Reverse.
and yeah, that I didn't notice in the theater.
Well, and I almost wonder if it was like a Big John Little thing, Little John thing. He's like, well, that's stupid in reverse, so maybe I'll just reverse this. I don't like the music. It's so Hannibal Lecter. I understand Michael's stages. I don't think he would use music. I don't know. It doesn't fit the flavor right for me. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, did he pick a new record too, like a nice romantic record? And another thing that's interesting, right, is I know they're scared going in the house, but Karen, when she goes into the house later on, one of the first things she notices is Lonnie's dad or Lonnie in the attic. So I'm wondering, is this one of those things where they should have seen it? You know what I'm saying? I know they're hyper
Well,
focused, but still.
well, maybe. But they have the whole super fear aspect versus Karen, who had the
Looking
like,
around aspect.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Oof. Longest death scene in a Halloween movie ever. See,
Right.
she's stupid. She puts the knives away and then goes to action with the shotgun. She had plenty of time to keep the distance and shoot him.
And down
Oh,
the stairs we go.
leg break. Oh. You know, I got to mention the mask. The burn side of it, it's okay. Doesn't really do anything for me. Don't like it, don't hate it. I don't know. Maybe it'll grow on me over time. The 18
Yeah.
mask grew on me over time. I think it's a good thing they took it in a new direction, did something with it to progress everything, but I like how he brings him over to her to where like she can see it now. He's like, I want you to watch this.
Yeesh.
I love this. He's like the other football team when it's like 30-0, and he's like, "This is not your time to taunt me. I'm winning." like, like, how dare you? The good shot with him at the top of the stairs.
Yeah, he got him hard. Mm.
And for the 2-point conversion, oh, it's good. Oh yeah. And then I'm gonna onside kick and run it for another touchdown. Sorry guys, it's football season. I just why would she want to die? I don't know. I don't know.
Maybe she yelled "Do it" to her mom.
Yeah, I can't
What
really
do you
tell
think?
where that's going. It looks like possibly around the spine. I don't know.
And see, that's not the one I was talking about.
No, I know, no, I know. I'm just thinking about how deep that went in.
But
I like the kick to the head. I don't know. I know it didn't probably do a whole lot, but I just like it looks cool, and I like that she takes the mask. I was a little worried about that because I did see some of that in the trailer. I hope you're happy. I'm rewatching this to see what y'all talking about. Yeah, buddy. There's a lot to like it's so close to greatness in certain spots that it pisses you off that they drop the ball so hard because it's bad dialogue and stupid character reactions. That's all she had to say. Stop there. Nope, keep the dialogue rolling. Too much. I know she's got to sell it, but I can't imagine trying to stand on a leg where it broke up top.
yeah,
And here's my question for you, man. And I understand that there is a little bit more attachment to the mask in this movie than ever before. In these last two movies, Michael knows that this is a trap, right? He knows. He just doesn't care because he's supernatural.
I feel like he
Uh,
would have to know.
huh?
I feel like he would have to know. Yeah,
Right. But do you think he would go for it? Part of me thinks he doesn't play that game. I don't. Either he's like, once again, he's like, no, no, you guys don't understand. I'm winning this football game. Like, like it's over.
yeah.
And I do love that she says gotcha. I don't know why. I think it adds to her character. I think she's smart, and I like that. And this is what I was telling Caleb too in the theater. I was I was thinking they were going to end it here. That the three movie deal. This is terrible.
One good skill.
Everyone's terrible. But I thought they were actually going to kill Michael here, and fake us out on a third movie. I would have been like, that would have blown me away. The makeup's fantastic. I don't know how hair burns off inside the mask without burning the mask all the way off. I don't understand how that works, but it's so cool looking. That mask is so mean. If you missed it, there was a gal back there with an iron, which I'm sure would hurt to get hit with, but like once again, people are just underestimating Michael Myers. Like this dude with the wrench fully owns him in the face right there.
Yeah.
Two two or three shoulder shots, and I think he got shot in the arm. So he could be living from that. But I don't know, man. It's the pitchfork and the last stab and the wrench, man. Like why wouldn't you go for the head?
See, this is that Thanos situation I was talking about.
See, I like this though. Playing with him that he's weak and hurt. I like it. It calls back to the original movie a bit. But I understand like the thought of actually taking a knife and sticking into somebody's head freaks me out. Like the idea that you're gonna push through somebody's skull freaks me out. So I can kind of understand going for the flesh, but I think it that might be more shoulder. I'll give it shoulder.
And see, this is
The movie's
this is
telling you
where it
the movie's
gets
telling you he's
stupid.
supernatural. Like I'm sorry, David Gordon Green, you can have your opinion because you're the director, but in this instance, you're wrong. I'm sorry. And I mean, I'm in no situation. Like, what does it matter? He doesn't know me. He'll never know me. It doesn't matter. But he's wrong. He's supernatural, and I'm sorry, but you failed to show us anything else but that. And like she's talking about transcension and all this other crap. Like they're telling you he's supernatural. Oh, there goes Bracket. Out of ammo. Fair. Yep, you're done. Oh my God, Achilles. This Batman Dark Knight cuts. I hate him so much. I can't tell what's going on. Don't like it.
You just
I mean, I
know
can
that
tell what's going
Michael
on, but I have
turned
no
into
idea where everybody is,
the
and like why they're
master.
not just bailing, and why Tommy's just standing there like an idiot. Like we're cutting back between different scenes. I don't know. It's so huge here, and Tommy doesn't even get a second. I don't know what that means. I don't like the cinematic language. Like, I don't know. I don't like it.
Mhm.
Like he comes in like looking like he just came in from Sting from the Raptors with a baseball bat. Like he looked like he was flying right there. I like the blood on the mask. Like I do like getting a little blood on the mask. Like it's this violent. He hasn't got hardly any blood on it. I like it. Just takes the bat and just finishes him off. Like that's basically like T-ball for Michael right there. Like
But it was just so bad.
see, look, Karen walks in. Maybe there's more lights showing from all the cops and everything to where she can see up in the attic because she sees him right there. Like I don't know. I'm assuming there's more light from something that she can see it, but
Yeah.
you would not go back into this house. You would take your daughter somewhere safe, get some breakfast, get some hospital. This has to be a dream because this is so dumb. Michael should have walked off into the ether. I'm okay with Karen dying. I just think it's stupid. It's a now. Here's my other problem. Up next, prom night. I really do want to revisit that. Um, here's here's my problem. Right, like Allison's not going anywhere without her mom. Right, her mom's there. She's not going to the hospital. She's not. So does she keep sending out these like ambulance dudes to check the house? Right? Does she? They keep dying. She wheels away like because they're not going to be able. I don't know. I just hate the ending.
I'm still ranking it at the bottom.
No. Why? It
That
is
whole
not worse
movie.
than Resurrection, I promise you. It's just not, man.
It is.
It's not, why? It's not.
Because knowing what that ending was supposed to be and rewatching it and seeing all the cues leading to that ending, and then they just left all that crap in there.
Right, but it can be retcon too. Like if you look at the ending of 2018, kind of a stupid place to end it as well. Like you spent all this time preparing traps to make sure he couldn't get out or anything else like that. Really, let's poke holes. Like he should be dead. There is no reason why he should be alive.
Yeah, I.
Really though, dude, like Busta Rhymes roundhouse kicking Michael,
Yeah,
like the nasty cams, the bad special effects, the person getting decapitated, literally you can see the plastic. Oh God, it's so bad. not bringing back Josh Hartnett is absolutely terrible. Not bringing back John, not even acknowledging John.
Yeah,
It's
but I
uh,
feel like it is still more serviceable than this, especially with its intent, with 2018's intent.
yeah. That's the interesting part. Is it really like if you want to talk about like the overall Michael Myers character, this movie doesn't really betray Michael Myers. But like Caleb just said, it betrays the original intent of the first movie in 2018, which is weird because if you liked 2018, I think most of the reason you liked it is because it was getting back to the original flavor. You got rid of the brother sister thing, and now he's human with slight supernatural edge. And then this movie betrays all that goodwill that you put in 2018. And it's frustrating too because David Gordon Green said I don't know. I think he's a liar. I mean, I'm sorry. I'll call him a liar to his face. Like, sorry, man. Like,
He's supernatural. There's no way. No
there's
way.
no way. I mean,
But
but once again, you love the Thorn trilogy, and he's supernatural in that. And there's some stupid betrayals to the character, to the franchise, and you love that. So, like, I don't understand. Once you give this movie a couple more watches, I don't understand how this could be worse than 4, 5, 6. Like, it just the kills are good, the characters are stupid, and it's bad dialogue. But once you drop your quality and your standards for all that, this movie's going to have to climb. There's just no way it doesn't because the dialogue's
well,
not good in Resurrection. The characters are stupid in Resurrection. Like, she's not looking at the screens when any of the kills happen. Nobody ever can, like, warn these people. Like,
if you go back to the first Halloween and even 2018, Michael's more of a stalker. Slow stalker, aims
some
for
of
the
them.
kill. This turns him into a full-on Jason Voorhees. The reason that's forgivable with Rob Zombie's Halloween and Halloween 2 is that's his own take on the character. That's not meant to be
Right.
Halloween 1. It's not meant to be Halloween 4. And I feel like the reason it works in Halloween 6 is because you have that whole oh he's not in control factor. So it works. Here it's just like they were like, okay, we're not going to do any of that. And then they did all of that. So it's almost like this false hope thing where you're like, okay, if we're going to go back to the basics, let's do it. And then they don't go back to the basics.
Well, that's why, like, part of me is wondering, like, they sat back and they go, we're going to delete all the movies after one, right? So that gives us 9 movies, right, to choose from. We're going to delete all those, but we're going to reference the holy bejesus out of them because just like us, we're fans. They're fans. And they probably couldn't help themselves. Like, yeah, there's stuff in there I would want to do to show that I care and that I have passion for the franchise. Like, I get that to a point. But now it's starting to feel like, look, this is what I want to do. I want to do the entire trilogy, or I want to do the entire franchise in 3 movies. So for the first movie, I want to combine elements of 1, 2, and 4. And then for the second movie, I want to do 5 and 6. And in the next movie, you'll have full on 6. Like, you'll have uncaged 6 all day long. And there'll be explanations. You'll throw a little bit of Halloween 3 in there. I think this next movie, like, I'm going to be almost disappointed if they don't double down, to be honest with you. Like, if you don't
Yeah.
double down and be like, he's supernatural because blah, 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 I'm going to be upset.
Yeah.
Right?
Um, yeah.
Is
Yeah.
there any.
It's gonna be. I don't know. I think that they can make it better. They can put a good, nice bow on it, or they're gonna ruin it and just. I don't know. I have hope for Halloween Ends, more hope than I had for Kills. But rewatching it, it just solidified my placement for it in last place. That sorry, I'm yeah, no. I
Well,
enjoy some of it. I and that's the other thing. People don't. me ranking a movie in my favorite franchise in the last place isn't necessarily saying that I absolutely hate the movie and I never want to watch it again. It just means it bugs me a lot to think about. That's all.
It
I
just seems
still
like
will go see it. I'll still watch it. I'll still buy it when it comes out on Blu-ray and DVD.
they took so much effort with bringing back other characters and make sure that flow, really hammering home the message that they wanted to say, and then the gore. Everything else was like secondary. It's like, well, we're not worried about how he gets in here and how he does that. We don't have to explain that anymore. It's the Force. He's a ninja. He's a ghost. We don't have to explain that anymore. We don't have to try. We don't have to. He doesn't need to stalk. He can just be in their house, and they have to go after him because they're stupid. Like,
No.
it just seems like they just, like I said, like that's why, like I was saying at the beginning of this, if you like things about the movie and you want to say how great it is, I'll listen to you and I'll say, yeah, you're right. I like that. I like that. Like, there's good things in it, and I could see why you'd like it. But the negatives are just like, you were so close to being something really good, and you just took a crap on everything you just did, and you doubled down on your comedy. You doubled down on the stupid. Like, wow. Like, why? Like, everybody told you. You had so many years to look at the feedback from 2018. Nobody liked the comedy. Nobody liked stupid characters. Nobody bought the story, the Laurie Strode, after 40 years she was this obsessed. Nobody's going to buy the whole town being this obsessed. You doubled down on everything people didn't like. It's weird. Like, it's strange to me. I just don't understand that. Like, I don't think you should react as harsh or as crazy as they do to like screenings and stuff like this, but 2018, you had years to just listen to every Halloween expert, every expert on YouTube that just would not shut up and ramble all day long about Halloween Kills. And I feel
Yeah.
like all of them, that we know a lot of YouTubers that cover Halloween, and good for them, like great, but I feel like they have blinders on for this movie so hard because they pushed it for so long, and because they have to love it because it's good for their channel and they can run their mouths and make more videos. Look, you got to put food on your table. This is your job. I understand, but I really do think you're blowing it out of proportion if you love this movie. I think if you hate this movie, it's hard because I lean towards the hate more than I do the love. But I understand the frustrations with this movie. I really do, because everybody says the exact same thing. I mean, everybody says the exact same thing. It's a problem. It just is. You don't need a degree. Like, for the first time, it's so funny because I watched hardly any trailers, didn't watch any reviews on anything leading up to this, stayed away from Halloween Kills as much as I possibly could, all across the board, trailers and all, everything. If you watch our disappointment review, we say the same thing as everybody else, and we didn't see their stuff. Like, so it's just clear and common. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, I don't know. I think they're going to double down for the next movie too. Like, they're just not going to back down. You're going to love this. Take it.
Yeah.
But anyway, sorry, I'll ramble on all night because it's, like I said, the movie starts off low, so I think it's going to crawl up over time. 2018 is still up there because they hit the flavor just right for me. But
If
anyway,
ends fixes some of the problems, I might be able to rank it up higher. But for right now, it sits in bottom for me. And yeah, you said it's second to last for you. See, I mean, I've seen a lot of people. It's either really low or really high. There seems to be very few people who rank it in the middle. Um, but I just got a message that my son's up again, so I kind of need to run.
okay. One last thing I want to say real quick, then we'll chat out. I do understand, and this kind of hurts the movie. It's like, do you want a movie that's made for the general horror fan, and you give them all the bright lights and the fun kills and smashes and stuff like that, the gore? Or do you want something that is going to take this franchise to the next level? And I think that's where they shifted. I think they went for the generic horror fan for this movie and kind of lost the subtleties and the small, you know what I'm saying? I just wanted to say that because I think that's some of the problem, is just trying to get to the generic horror fan and pump
Yeah,
out
I
fast
mean,
food horror.
I'm really worried that Halloween Ends is gonna hit that like over the top supernatural factor where it's just another like Insidious or Conjuring, but it has Michael Myers attached to it.
Right, and really, I mean that once again, there is that in the series, but what 18 was doing was trying to give you an original take, an original timeline of him just being slightly supernatural, and it just ruined it's the special of this movie just was ruined.
Yeah.
This new franchise was ruined because of that. I think that's where we're on. And that's why it ranks so low for you. But I'll let you get out of here, guys. Jabari, thanks for watching. For everybody else watching later on, we appreciate you. Make sure and like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you can get some more R&R with us. Till next time, we're out of here.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.